Welcome to Elevate Your Ride, the podcast dedicated to elevating your performance in the saddle. I'm Ellie, your personal trainer.
And I'm Lauren, your mindset coach.
So today we have with us Kaitlyn Ferguson. Kaitlyn has showed APHA for a long time in the all-around events, and she recently won a few titles at the APHA World Show. And we brought her on today to talk about her experience at the World Show, the path she took to win those titles, the challenges she faced reaching those goals, and overall just what it took for her to win that title. So I've known Kaitlyn for a couple of years. I feel like we're always at the same shows and our trainers are really close friends. And I kind of watched her learn the Western riding with her last horse, Jimmy John, who is such a cool horse. And so it was really cool to see her win that Western riding title at the World Show because I've seen her work so hard at it at all the local shows back home in the Northwest. So watching Kaitlyn compete, she's always cool, calm, collected, always has a smile on her face, always having fun with her barn and with her horse. And she's just a very pretty and correct rider. So I'm really excited to have her on today. So, Kaitlyn, can you tell us a little bit more about you and your background?
Yeah, well, first, thanks for talking me up so much. I feel like I've got a lot to live up to now. But anyways, I'm 22. I'm currently going to college. I'm riding on the Auburn equestrian team. So, horses have just stayed a huge part of my life. I'm in Washington. I train with Anthony Wilson, and I've been with him for what feels like a bajillion years. He's like an extension of my family at this point. So I've had a few horses through him that I've shown the all around with and have had a lot of success over the years. So I'm thankful for all of that. As of now, I just keep going to school and keep showing. So who knows when the horse thing's going to be over. But for now, I'm just enjoying it while I can.
So tell us a little bit more about the World Show, why you decided to go, what your goals were, the horses that you showed, all that stuff.
Okay, well, this was like a very unique World Show experience for me this year. There's a lot of luck and moving pieces that went into making this show happen for me. My longtime youth horse, a Good Made Machine, passed away earlier this winter, who I was planning on taking to the World Show. He had been off for some time. We were trying to rehab him. Things just didn't work out how they were supposed to. So I was left horseless before the World Show. But luckily, I'm really good friends with a client of Anthony's, the Boyers, who own a horse named the Bat Boy. And last year, when Jimmy came up lame, they allowed me to show the Bat Boy at the World Show last year. And we had a decent World Show. I was like fourth in the trail on him. And so when my circumstances still weren't any better this year, they had allowed me to show the Bat Boy. His name's Bruce. They allowed me to show him again. So that's who I was supposed to be coming in on the World Show with. And I was excited for that. And then one day, Anthony's really good friend, Amber Duckett, another trainer who owns One and Only Asset, called him up and they were talking about the World Show. And she was talking about how she had wanted to take Marshall, One and Only Asset, to the World Show, but she wasn't really sure what she was going to do with him. She didn't really have a plan. And Anthony, just because I was out at the barn that day, just threw it out there jokingly and was like, well, Kaitlyn will ride him for you because I'll volunteer to ride anything. And Amber just took it and ran with it. And we all didn't think that's what was going to happen. Like, we were just joking, but she was like, you know what? Sure. So obviously I'm at the barn. I had to like go to the tack room and have a silent freak out for a second because I was so excited that I was going to be able to show two amazing horses now. So really just, it was a very unique experience from the get-go. Like, I didn't expect any of that at all. And like, it's still hard to wrap my mind around the fact that I got to show those two amazing horses just because of the generosity of their owners. So that was amazing. I still can't get over that.
Yeah, that's amazing. How did you prep for both horses? Were they at the same barn? I'm not sure where the location
Um,
is of the two of them.
Well, the Bat Boy, Bruce, has been with Anthony for 3-4 years now. And we kind of have a program where we like to ride each other's horses and we swap around. So I've been on Bruce a few times. So that one was definitely less of a stress for me because I was like, okay, I have handfuls of rides under my belt with Bruce. I showed him at the World Show last year. Like, I wasn't too worried about that. But Marshall was a totally different story because he lives like 8 hours from us in Idaho with Amber. And I had only really ridden him once, like 3 years prior. Like, we just like tooted around the arena, like jogged and loped around for like 3 seconds because Amber was feeling nice when she came and visited one day. And so that was definitely stressful for sure. And like another aspect of it is he has this image, like being a stud horse. It's just kind of a different ballpark than showing a youth all around horse. It's just a different reputation. There's a different way to go about things. And obviously, Amber's not my trainer. Like, it's just, there was a lot of things behind it that stressed me out for sure. Like,
Yeah,
Amber
that's really
has,
stressful.
yeah, like Amber has certain expectations being in the public eye as a stud horse. Like, it's just stuff like that. That was definitely scary. So between horse shows, I scheduled a time to come out. I drove to Idaho for a few days and rode with Amber. And so that was really fun. And Amber's like the kindest human ever. And she's so good at teaching. Like, she's so methodical with everything she does. There's definitely a learning curve. Every trainer's different, but she cares so much. So like having her in my corner to take the extra time with me. And like, we keep joking that we're equally as crazy because she's crazy for letting me show her horse and I'm crazy for just hopping on and going. But it ended up working out clearly, but it was a lot of like anxiously sitting around because obviously I couldn't ride him every day. So it was definitely kind of up in the air how things were going to go.
And by the end of that trip, did you feel fairly confident?
To be 100% honest, no, not at all.
Not
Not at all.
like
Not
that.
at all. Yeah, the first day I was like, oh geez, this is a really big learning curve. I don't know if I can do this. I was like, whatever, I'll give it another ride. I gave it another ride. It was 10 times better the next day. And I was like, okay. Basically, what got me through it was the mindset of like, okay, I know I can go out there and not be completely embarrassing. Like, it might not be amazing, but I hopefully won't be super embarrassing. So that was kind of the mindset. She was at Pinto, so she actually moved into paint later than we did. So I had gotten there before Marshall. So I really, by the time we got to the World Show, we only had a few days together. So I can't really say I ever felt ready to show, but you know, fake it till you make it is kind of how I went about that.
Yeah, and it worked.
Wow.
Good job.
I did. Yeah, I just was like acting like I knew what I was doing essentially.
That's so
Wow.
cool. What an amazing story. And yeah, congratulations again.
Thank you.
Can you talk us through that run and the warm up leading up to it and what it felt like to walk in and walk out? And
Yeah, so it's actually kind of funny. So my riding classes, my 2 riding classes with Marshall were on the same day, the amateur senior pleasure and then the novice am Western riding. And it's so funny because I normally love the pleasure. I love to ride the pleasure. I love to show the pleasure. But I was a lot more stressed. But I think that's actually what made me more stressed out about the pleasure because I put so much pressure on myself about it. So I went out there. I was not the best pilot. I was kind of in La La Land. Like, definitely like horse show nerves took over in my pleasure class. It wasn't as good as it could have been. Totally my fault. Like, I was just on airplane mode, basically. It happens. And then 2 classes later was my Western riding class. So I had a class I wasn't totally happy with. Me and Amber went back, brainstormed a plan, and we're like, okay, I'm just going to go out there and ride. Like, I know what to do. I can do a lead change. Like, it'll be fine. We came out there. I had a really good warm up. I feel like it was good. My pleasure class was good, that it wasn't great because I feel like I got all the bad juju out of the way. That's what we keep saying. So I had a really good warm up and I was the second horse in the class. And I was really excited to show this class. Like, I love Western riding, but it also really freaks me out because I am notorious for doing weird things in my Western riding class. Like, I will screw myself over every single time and do something crazy. So I was just trying to get out of my head, be like, Kaitlyn, don't jeopardize your own ride. Like, don't get in your own way. Like, you know how to do this. And he just from the get-go was just perfect. He was with me every single step, every single change. If I needed him to speed up, slow down. It was one of the best rides I've ever had. Like, he was with me every single step. I feel like I come out of the show pen more times than not, wishing I could have done things differently. not liking pieces of it, not feeling very ecstatic about it. But I came out of that class like on cloud nine because he was just such a good partner. And I stayed out of his way. I helped him do his job. And it was just a ride I was very proud of, which I feel like doesn't happen very often. Like there's always something I want to change, but I came out of that one thrilled, which was amazing to experience, especially at the World Show.
Yeah, that is the best place to have that
Yes,
ride and the
yes,
best place to have that feeling walking out because
yes.
there's nothing else that you could have done.
No. And that's how obviously I can sit there and I can nitpick anything, but I was just so happy with how things came together. And I was so proud of that ride. So it made the win like 10 times better than it could have been.
Hey, Elevate Your Ride fans. Are you loving our show and looking for a way to show your support? Check out our line of Elevate Your Ride merchandise. From stylish t-shirts to cozy hoodies to journals and hats. We have everything you need to represent your favorite podcast. Ready to gear up? Click on the Buy Our Merchandise Here link in the podcast notes, or head on over to our website, elevateyourride.co, and click on the Store tab. Thank you for your support. Make sure to like, follow, and share our platform with your friends.
When I saw the post on Facebook, like the video of you going and doing it, I had no idea that you were showing Marshall there. And I was like, whoa, that's so cool that Kaitlyn's out there showing one and only asset, this really cool up and coming stud at the World Show. I was like, Kaitlyn's never shown him before. Has Kaitlyn ever ridden him before? And I was
not
super
really.
impressed. And I was like, that is so cool. And watching the run, you guys were so in sync. You just sat up there and you just showed your little heart out and put your hand forward and just sat up and said, you know what? We're just going to go for it. And it was such a pretty ride to watch over video. I wish I could have seen it in person. That would have been so cool to see. But I was really, really impressed and super proud of you guys. So what would you say was, you're welcome. What would you say was like the hardest part leading up to that moment? Was it more challenging for you mentally or physically? Like what was the hardest part about achieving that win?
I would say it was definitely a mental block. I feel like physically I'm pretty able. Like I ride 5 days a week. Like that's not really where I struggle a lot of the time. It's definitely more of I get in my own head about things. And when you care about something so much, it's hard not to put yourself into that space of doing too much, like trying too hard, getting stressed out about it. So especially when it's another person's horse, and especially when it's a horse that has a certain reputation and an image to it, like you want to live up to that. You don't want to let people down. So like in this instance, obviously I don't want to have a bad ride and feel crappy about myself, but I don't want to have a bad ride and make Marshall look bad. I don't want to have a bad ride and make Amber look bad. Like it felt like I had more weight on me to go and do well in that class. So that was definitely something I hadn't really experienced to that extent before. I get in my head a lot and I get stressed a lot about showing, like it eats away at me sometimes, but that was a whole different ball game. So it was definitely just like I had to pull myself out of the situation and like focus on riding, not focus on doing it for other people. Like I just needed to ride the animal I had, not worry about what everyone else is going to think, which is a hard thing when you're riding a horse that people know, because they're watching, which is hard. I just had to basically pull myself out and be like, ride your dang horse. Stop worrying about everything else that's going on.
Yeah, how did you manage that stress of like walking into the warm-up pen and you know that everybody in there knows the horse that you're on and has like a little bit of a certain expectation about you and the horse and how they expect you to do? How did you handle that?
I gotta say, the first couple times I took him out and rode, it was a lot. It was stressful. And there's people coming up to you and talking to you about him. And there's people asking you, why are you riding this horse? It's just, like people are always going to talk,
Yeah.
especially amateurs riding, leasing horses, riding other
Oh,
people's
yeah.
horses. Like
Especially
people are,
paint.
yes, people are always going to talk. And like, I know that. So I don't really know how to explain it. The first 2 days were rough because people were talking and I could tell. But after that, I felt a lot more comfortable. I think a lot of it had to do with Amber because Amber's like a sunshine in someone's life. Like, she is such a positive person. She's so uplifting. Like, if she's on your side, she's there for you 100%. So it's really nice having Amber be there for me and kind of talk me off the cliff and be like, you look good. Don't worry about it. Like, we're just going to ride, like, focus on me. And so that was really nice. Amber definitely made a huge difference because she got me out of my head. She got me into a good mindset and really like built me up instead of adding to the stress when we rode, which was nice.
Do you remember, like, what were the specific things that she would say or have you do to help you get in the right mindset?
We did a lot. Instead of like riding on the outside rail, I rode on the inside rail a lot, just kind of around her so we could talk. Like, so I was focusing on the task at hand. I was focusing on Amber rather than getting stuck on a rail in a crazy warm up pen. Like, you get lost out there. It's hard to stay focused. Like, there's so many horses you're looking at. There's so many people you're looking at. Traffic's horrible. That's just the world show. That's just a warm up pen. So it was nice to have, like, Amber kinda go around with me and pull me away from the chaos, and we could just have our own time, and Amber's really good at positives, like, she will always give you a positive. Obviously, she's constructive, like, we get things done, but she's very positive about things, and she'll always offer up a compliment if I did something well, so I like that she kept me on the right track, like, I wasn't ever left guessing, "Am I doing this right? Does this look good?" Like, she does a very good job at reassuring you and letting you know when you're going in the right direction, which mentally I felt like is what I really needed in that situation, so I'm really appreciative of that.
So, since you weren't able to really ride and prepare with Marshall a whole lot, what did you do at home in Washington to help prepare you for riding him in the Western riding?
I'm gonna be honest, not a lot. For me, every horse is so different in the Western riding. I've done a bajillion lead changes in my life, good and bad. So it was more of I needed to understand the horse that I had underneath of me in the moment, not so much focus on the mechanics of it necessarily. That really wasn't my focus because I felt for me, my biggest struggle was going to be connecting with the horse I didn't know, with the training program I didn't know as well, rather than me making it through a pattern correctly.
Yeah, so you were able to rely more on, like, your past experiences
Yeah,
to be able to
definitely,
say, "Hey,
definitely.
I'm gonna be able to ride this horse in this moment."
Yes, yes, for sure. Like, I've gone around the Western riding pen so many times, and so many scary things have happened in there, and some good things have happened in there. But at this point, I know that Western riding pattern like the back of my hand. Like, I should be able to do this, even if I get my own way sometimes. Like, mechanically, I know how to do the pattern. It's just, I was a lot more worried about connecting with the horse I had in the show pen.
Do you think that we'll be able to see you and Marshall together in the Chopin again?
I no, that's a really big if, I guess. I mean, it depends. Who knows? I don't
He's
really
so
he's
cool. You guys were
he
beautiful.
is so fun to ride. He's such a good boy. Like, he feels, great. Like nothing I've ever saw him before. He's very unique and very fun and just easy. Like, he's a really good boy. I had a lot of fun. I would gladly, gladly, gladly show him again. That's a big if. Who knows? I'm graduating this next year. I don't really know where horses are taking me after that, so it's kind of just in the air at this point.
Gosh, I feel like you just went off to college.
I know, I feel like that too, but here we
Oh my
are, senior
gosh.
year.
What are you getting your degree in?
I'm a psychology major with a sports coaching minor. So I want to do
Awesome.
ultimately, I want to do sports psychology. So I'm hopefully going to stay and get my PhD.
So have any of the classes that you've taken about sports psychology, have you been able to apply them to your writing?
Honestly, yeah. Like, I actually took a specific sports psychology class this last semester. And it's funny because I didn't realize how many things I was already like implementing in my life to make myself a better athlete mentally that are like textbook and like things that therapists and psychologists recommend for athletes and things like that. So it was interesting. Like, I feel like I use a lot of imagery, which is something I really enjoyed learning about. Like, imagining you in the moment, riding, doing the thing, doing the lead change, doing the turn, doing the pattern, like just sitting through and mentally picturing your ride is something I do a lot, especially before I show. Like, I find myself like up at night before show day, like going through my rides in my head. So that was definitely something I found interesting, and I thought that was my own weird little thing, but it's actually something people recommend for athletes to mentally go through because, like, that mental checklist and practice, like, the more you practice that, even without the physical aspect of it, when you go to do it physically, it's there a lot faster. Like, your mind is I don't even know how to explain this in a way that I don't sound silly, but, like, your mind is with you, like, it knows what's next because you sat there and pictured that motion in your head over and over and over and over again. So it's kind of like mind meets body in the moment when you need it. So that was really interesting to learn about, and it is definitely something I do without even realizing it.
Yeah, that is such a huge thing, and it's amazing how it lays down those similar neural pathways in your brain, so that way,
Yeah.
when you do actually go to do it, your body kinda already knows, and so
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
did you then visualize the ride on Marshall then during those times when he wasn't with you to kinda pretend how you would want it to feel?
Oh, 100 times. Like, I'm kind of a freak about that. I will literally think about it over and over and over again, like, probably too much. It's probably not healthy, but
Hey, it worked though.
it did work. I'm like, sometimes I feel like I maybe think about it too much and it doesn't help. But, it's definitely always like days leading up to when I'm showing. I will literally just go over a ride in my head 100 times, a pattern 100 times. Like, it, I always have done that for a long time. So I don't know. I must be doing something right.
Are you looking for that extra competitive edge, struggling with show pin anxiety, or looking to set and achieve meaningful goals with your horse? Schedule a session with me, Lauren, your dedicated mindset coach. As an experienced competitor, I understand the mental demands required to excel at the highest level, and am here to support you in building a plan to help you stay accountable and reaching those goals. For more information, check out laurencervelli.com or click on the website link in our show notes. Let's work together to elevate your ride.
Since you say you really enjoy, like, the visual learning process, do you ever, like, set up a Pivo and videotape your rides at home and then go back and watch them?
I'm not that fancy. It's more of like, "Hey, Anthony, while you play video so I can watch." But I do need video. I definitely do. Like, you can tell me something 100 times, it
Yeah.
won't connect, but the second I see what you're saying, I'm like, "Oh, okay, I got it." Like, I can fix anything based off of video. If you tell me, I might have no idea what you're saying.
Oh, it's the same way for me. Savannah will be like, "You're leaning forward," and I'm like, "No, I'm not," and then she'll take a video of me,
Surely
and I'm
I'm
like, "Ah,
not.
shit, I am leaning forward, you're right," and she always looks at me, and she's like, "Well, I'm not lying." It's like, I get that, but, like, I have to see it
See,
to fix
yeah,
it.
no, no, totally. Like, that was a big thing with Marshall is because, like, it feels a certain way, but every time I rode him, I made my mom video for me so I could sit back and watch it and be like, "Okay, this is what I need to fix, and this is what I need to fix, and he needs to do this." Like, so it's a video, yes, is a huge thing for me. I will sit and watch. I've actually probably sat and watched that Western riding video 100 times since they sent it
Oh,
to
I
me.
believe it.
Like, I will just, like, yeah, I'll watch forever, and I'll totally tear myself apart, but it helps. It totally helps.
And so at the World Show, you were also reserve world champion in the amateur trail, and that was aboard Bat Boy, right?
Yes, the Bat Boy, Bruce.
Yeah. So tell us about that ride. And were you kind of expecting to do well? Was that a surprise? Walk us through the warm up, the class, and waiting for those results.
Being reserve in that class was probably, like, the most surreal thing ever because it was completely unexpected. Bruce is an amazing trail horse. He is so good. So, besides me, he has his owner, Stella, who shows the 13 and under stuff with him, and she just came off an amazing youth world with him. They won the novice 13 and under trail and the novice 13 and under showmanship. Like, they had a great show, so I was like, "Oh, great." I
Yeah.
gotta keep up with the kid now. But he's a great trail horse. I showed him at the World Show on the trail last year in the novice trail, and I was 4th. We added a stride in one of our trotters, and it kinda screwed us, but he was such a good boy, and he's such an honest showman. Like, he goes out there and is exactly the same. I love showing him. He's super fun because he's just who he is. Like, he's very honest. So, I was really looking forward to the trail because I knew he'd be good. We only practiced Well, I didn't get a lot of practice on Bruce because the kid was practicing. So this, honestly, I probably rode Marshall more than I rode Bruce before I showed him because he was for the kid. And so I finally had a day to practice trail, and our trail practice was set up finally. And I ran through the pattern twice, like completely perfectly, and was like, you know what? I'm not going to mess with it anymore. Like, we're ending on a good note. The second class tomorrow, like, whatever. Let's end it here. I was super happy coming off of practice. And the amateur trail, like, ugh, I was scared looking at everyone that's in there. Like, there's a lot of amazing horses, amazing riders that like continuously dominate the trail all the time. And I remember even saying to my mom and Anthony, and I was like, this is scary going into this class because there's girls in here that have been partnered with their horses for years. And like they're trail machines. Like they don't hit a pull. They don't do anything wrong. They know their horse so much better. Like I'm going to go out there. If I hit one pull, like I'm out of the running. Like this class is hard. Like this is probably the hardest class I'm going to show. And they're like, whatever, Kaitlyn, it's trail. You never know what's going to happen. And so I went out there with Bruce. It started out great. I like loved my pattern. It was going great. And then it was like our last lope over. And right before I asked him to lope off, he kind of got a little spooky on me. Like he sucked back a ton. And I was like, oh God, we're going to spook. Oh God, it's the end of the pattern. Please don't spook. Please don't spook. Please don't spook. I just like, it's out up there. And I'm like, good boy, Bruce, let's go. And I pushed him over those last slope overs. And I'm not kidding. Over every single pull, I was going, good boy, Bruce. Good boy, Bruce. Good boy, Bruce.
Aw.
Because I was like, please, please don't stop on me right now. Please do not. Like, we're almost to the end of the pattern. Just be brave for 30 more seconds. We make it through the lope over, we finish our pattern, and it was good. But of course, I came out of it like, oh, I should have done this better. I should have done that better. I didn't like this. Oh, we got spooky. Obviously, everything feels so much worse than what it actually is. So I came out of it like happy, but wasn't expecting to do that great because I was just nitpicking myself. And I came out and I went into the holding pen and everyone was going, Kaitlyn, that was really good. Like, I think you're winning it right now. Like, that's the best one we've seen. And I'm like, you're joking. Like, I thought everyone was just being nice. And I was like, no way. Because I like didn't feel that great about it. Like, it by no means was bad. It was by no means bad. It's just me being a perfectionist. So I was like, yeah, whatever, you guys. And the more goes went and the more goes went. And they kept saying, Kaitlyn, I don't know. I think you're up there. And I didn't believe them because I didn't get to watch all the goes. I'm like, knowing the horses in there, knowing the riders in there, I was like, there's no way. And so we came back up for awards and it took forever because that class, like combined, was like an intermediate class, a sweepstakes class, NSP, like whatever. It's like a huge combined class. So awards are taking forever. We're sitting in there forever. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I just want to get this over with. Like, we're in here for so long. Like, I honestly thought I was not even going to be top 5. I was nitpicking myself that bad. And then it came down to the top 5 and they announced 5th and they announced 4th. And I'm like, holy crap, I'm still in here right now. Like, I couldn't even believe it. And I'm like, I'm in here still. I'm looking at John Simon right now. I'm looking at Lila Owens. I'm like, Aaron and Lila are both incredible riders on incredible horses. I'm like, this is crazy that I'm standing here with these girls still. Like, I did not think that was going to be the case at all. And then they announced Aaron 3rd, and I'm like, oh my God. Like, I can't even, like, I thought my brain exploded for a second. I was like, literally no way that I buckled in this class right now. Like, I completely counted myself out from the get-go. Like, before I even got in the class, I was counting myself out. And then to just sit there and be in the top 2 was an insane feeling. It was definitely like a someone pinch me moment because I was like, how the heck did this happen? Like, how did I end up here? And so that was like a very, very, very memorable moment for me. And like, trail's tough. And that's definitely a class I worked really, really, really hard at. Like, I love trail, but it's tough and it's hard. But I've spent so many hours working on the trail that buckle means so much to me because that's a class I put so many hours into. And so that class meant a lot to me.
That's really cool.
What an incredible feat to beat John Simon in the trail as well.
Oh, that was like surreal. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that's amazing. And what an incredible feat. And I mean, I remember you being hell bent on, like, Jimmy John is gonna do the trail even though he could not trot over a pole to save his life, and like, I could just tell that it was always one of your favorite classes, and you made it happen.
Yes, but I feel like that's honestly what made me better is because Jimmy was so gosh dang bad at it. Like, he was just so bad at trail, and I was, like, so determined. I was like, "We're gonna do this class. We are so gonna do this class." And it was either we went out there and it was amazing and we'd win it, or we'd go out there and we would demolish every single obstacle out there, fluke, and DQ. Like, that is just how it went. And I was so freaking determined to get that horse to do trail. So I think literally that's where all the hours came from. And I think it like getting on any horse after Jimmy and trying to do the trail, I'm like, oh my God, this is so much easier. Like we can actually find a spot. We actually make it over the pole. We're not spooking at the air. Like I love Jimmy. Rest in peace to him. He did not do the trail. So that actually honestly helped me a lot on any other horse.
Hi, everyone. It's your personal trainer, Ellie. If you're looking to become a stronger, more balanced, and flexible rider, I'm here to help. I offer virtual personal training sessions and customized workout plans that you can complete on your own. As a fellow competitor, I understand the physical demands riding requires, and my goal is to help you perform your best for your horse, whether you're preparing for a show or just want to improve your everyday rides. Visit lopindowntherailfitness.com or click on my website tab in the notes of this podcast episode to learn more. Let's work together to elevate your ride. How did it feel to have that peak moment where all the blood, sweat, and tears paid off and you were standing there with the buckle, with the trophy, getting your picture taken? Like, was that moment just so surreal?
Oh, 100%. I wanted to cry so bad, and I was like, "Don't be a baby, Kaitlyn, don't cry." I, like, kept it together pretty well. "Don't cry, Kaitlyn, don't cry, don't be embarrassing, come on now." Like, I made it through my victory lap. It was kind of, like, out of body almost because I was so excited. Like, when you get so excited, you're not, like, really present anymore, and then when I was walking Bruce back to the stalls and we're going down the tunnel, I just started crying because I was finally by myself and, like, had a moment to take it in, and I just cried, and I was like, "This is so embarrassing, but whatever. I'm alone in the tunnel, I'll cry for a little bit." Like, yeah, that one meant a lot to me. I think and it definitely taught me a lesson of, like, don't be so hard on yourself because before I even went in the class, I was counting myself out and was like, "I'm not gonna do well in here. I'm not gonna do well in here." After my class, I had a phenomenal pattern, but I came out of it and thought it was like a crapshoot. It's just you don't need to be so hard on yourself all the time.
Yeah, that imposter syndrome.
And did that class happen before or after the Western riding?
This was before, so that was actually well, I guess I showed halter the day before, but that was the first riding class of the show for me.
And do you feel like having the success early on changed your mindset for the rest of the show, or were you able to kind of just keep going, or what did that do for you?
I'm fence actually about my answer because part of me is like, okay, I'm happy with that. Let's wrap it up. I'll go home. Like, I don't need to keep riding. That's enough for me. But then another half of me was like, oh God, I just did good on this horse. Now I have this other horse that I also should probably do well on. I needed to remember like what I had ahead of me. Well, and it was hard with Marshall too because he just came off of Pinot and had like a phenomenal Pinot with Amber and won like literally everything. So I was like, oh God, I'm about to get on this horse. And I'm like, I just did good on this other horse. Marshall just came off this other world show and won all this stuff. I'm like, I really am going to look silly if I go out there and do something stupid. Part of me, yeah. So I would say it was, I don't really know actually. Like part of me was like, okay, I could be done here. Like I was feeling pretty good about myself. And then the other part of me was like, oh dang, now I feel like the pressure is on even more.
Do you feel like those high pressure situations are what drives you?
For me, I do a lot better when I'm, like, cool, calm, collected, like, making fun out of it, not putting a lot of pressure on myself because I just get way too serious about it sometimes, and I ruin it for myself, like, I ruin the fun of it, I ruin my ride because 'cause I'm trying way too hard or I'm nitpicking too much, and so I do a lot better when I'm in, like, a proper mindset of like, I'm happy to be here, I'm happy to have my horse, I'm ready, I'm so excited to go in this class kind of deal, not so much the pressure definitely does not it makes it worse, not better for me personally, but yeah, that's basically how I'd sum that up.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I feel like I'm a lot similar to that as to the pressure. Yeah, I'll show up for it, but I feel a lot better if I can just be enjoying the moment, enjoying having the horse and knowing that I've done everything I can with the horse and then
Yeah.
being able to step
Yeah.
into the pen and just show it off.
Oh, exactly. Like, that's ideally how I'd love every ride to go, and I feel like I'm a lot better at that, obviously. But, I mean, I ride better if I go into it, like, feeling prepared and not anxious. The pressure just makes me a little more nitpicky, I'd say, in my riding. Like, I'm kind of I guess I turn into a control freak is the way to say it. Like, I wanna control every single step to the extent that it's too much. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not helping, I'm getting in the way kind of deal because this has to go right, so I'm gonna make it go right. And then I'm trying so hard to make everything go exactly perfect how I want it to go that it just falls apart because 'cause I'm trying way too hard. So that's definitely the side of the pressure that gets to me, but I think when I showed Marshall, it was that pressure kinda went away because I was so excited. Like, I was excited for
Yeah.
the opportunity, I was excited to go show the class. I it was very it was, like, coming from a place of, like, I was very grateful. I was, like, grateful for the week, I was grateful I was riding the horse, I was grateful for the people helping me. I was grateful that Anthony was having an amazing world show. It was more like a moment of, like, yes, the pressure was on, but that really wasn't what I was thinking about in the moment. I was just like, "Wow, I'm so excited to show this horse right now, and I'm so excited for what happened this week," kind of deal, which helped.
How does the environment that you're in impact your performance when you're riding and when you're showing? Obviously, I know your barn, and your barn is super fun and super supportive, and you guys are always having a good time. So, how do you feel like that translates to you going and riding and doing so well in the show pen?
I think it makes a huge difference for me because I care so much about the riding aspect of it sometimes where I take the fun out of it. So it's good to like have an environment to go back into where not everyone is so serious all the time and like we can joke and laugh and poke fun at each other and mess around and go have fun on our horses, which I need. Like I need somewhere to go and be silly. 'Cause I just get if I was just focused on riding all the time, I'd be just miserable because I take it so seriously sometimes. It's obviously a very different story at home. Like, I can mess around and have fun at home, but at a show, it's like, I wanna get stuff done, and it's to an extent that I kinda suck the fun out of it sometimes. So, it's good. I'm very, very thankful for Anthony and Kylie and everyone in the barn because they allow me to be fun and silly back at the barn, and they're gonna be fun and silly with me and get me out of a bad mood or a rut that I'm in, like, I need that. That's definitely the environment I need to be successful.
What drives you to compete? Why do you do it?
I mean, like, first of all, it's just the love of the horse. Like, I'm a horse girl at heart. So that's just me. I love the horses. Like, I'm at the barn all the time, hours on end, constantly. I love the horses. And I just think that is really where it starts. Like, I just love to ride. I just love riding. And because I love it so much, I care about it a lot and sometimes care too much, obviously. But, I mean, that's really just what drives me, like, when I wake up, that's what I wanna do for the day. I wanna go ride, I wanna go see a horse. It's a very, like, internal motivation of love doing this. I joke all the time, I'm like, I like riding around at home and just going to shows and being there more than I actually like going in the show because I just like to ride. I don't know, I just like to ride.
It's not half bad.
No.
Yeah, I love that.
So, how are you going to keep pushing yourself and bettering yourself for the next time? What did you learn from the experiences that you had at the World Show?
I feel like I need to trust myself a little bit more, like have more confidence in myself for sure. Like I can do those hard things and I can get the horse around and I shouldn't be like I just get in my head a lot. Clearly is what I'm this is what I'm like self-reflecting right now based on this conversation. I'm like I'm clearly in my head all the time and being way too hard on myself. So definitely just like believe in yourself a little bit more. Like again, I can do those hard things. I can compete with those people. Like don't count yourself out until you're out. Like you have the same chance as everyone else. It's horse showing, like anything can happen, and stay positive. Like, I don't need to suck the fun out of it and make it so serious. Like, it's not worth it. I need to just trust myself and have fun with it a little bit more.
What advice would you have for people listening to this podcast and for people who
Hmm.
want to become a world champion one day?
Ooh, good question. Let me think how I want to word this.
It's a big question.
It is a big question. You have to put the time in. There's no like if, ands, or buts about it. You have to put the time in. You are not going to accomplish big things without putting in a big amount of time. Like, you need time in the saddle. You need time with your horse. You need time developing a relationship with your trainer. If you have a trainer, like, you guys need to understand each other. You need to understand your horse forwards and backwards. Your trainer needs to understand you forwards and backwards. It's just time. You need to have time in order for people to help you and your horse to be prepared. Like, you just need to spend the time out there.
Yeah, it's so true.
So one thing that we kind of touched on earlier, like you said, you need that time, right? And you need those relationships and you need the experience and everything. And what I don't want is for somebody to be able to look at you and say, oh my gosh, well, she rode that Marshall horse. And in a couple rides, she was able to go and get a world champion out of it. But those couple rides weren't how you won. It was all the time and all the practice and all the effort that you put in it into the years leading up to that moment.
Exactly. And I really appreciate you saying that because I know there are people out there that are saying the complete opposite. And they are saying that I was just put on a horse to win a title and that it was kind of just like a handed to me situation, which just is not the case at all. Yes, in reality, did I ride Marshall less than 10 times before I showed that class? Yes. But how many hours before that have I had in the saddle? A
Right.
lot of hours. Like, I didn't just wake up and go and do that one day just because someone wanted their horse to win another buckle. There was a lot of hours and hours of practice behind that. There's hours of me riding. There's hours of Amber riding. There's hours of Anthony working with me, of Amber working with me. Like, that didn't just happen because we felt like throwing me on there. And that's the reality of it. You don't accomplish things like that without putting in the time.
Absolutely. And like you said, you've done thousands and thousands of lead changes before, so you understand what it takes to do it. It wasn't your first time ever changing lead. And even if we're talking about the trail as well, you took a horse that, not the one that you showed, but before, the horse you took shouldn't have been a trail horse, but yet you were perseverant and you wanted to do whatever it took to be able to show in that class, which helped teach you the ins and outs, the good, the bads, to set you up to ride anything basically going forward. And
Yeah.
all of
Yeah.
that is what added up to both of these horses, you being able to get on and have so much success.
Yeah, no, you worded that perfectly. It's difficult experiences in the past make you better going forward. Like, if
Yeah,
you don't have those rough rides or those learning curves, you will never learn. Like, if a curveball is thrown at you in the future, you don't know how to handle that unless you've seen it before.
If you could go back a couple years to those moments where you guys were struggling through the trail to Jimmy John, what would you say to yourself in the moment if you could, for any advice to help get you through those moments to say, you know what, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. It's going to pay off someday.
I don't even know because on like trail with Jimmy was just like so bad that it was like almost comical. It was kind of just funny. I don't know. I never was super worried about it when it was with Jimmy because I was like, girl, like, why are you even doing this? This is so embarrassing. Like, you guys are a wreck. It was funny. Like, I laughed about it because it was just so bad that it was funny. But I mean, how satisfying is that though to go through that, and then I was able to get a trail world I don't know, it's just crazy that I have a world title in trail, like, I know especially the amateur, not even the novice amateur, because I've done so many scary things in the trail pen with Jimmy. So, honestly, I actually don't even know what advice I'd give myself because I don't know if there was advice for what was going on, like, I was just, like, kind of steering Jimmy around on a hope and a prayer over something, like, if I'm being totally for real.
But you had that confidence to quote unquote suck. You know what I mean? Like you had the self confidence to say, you know what? We might suck. We might not be great today. And we might never be great together, but someday I'm going to be great. And in the meantime, if we suck, then it is what it is, And I think that a lot of people don't have the self-confidence to suck and to struggle through it. I know that pot calling the kettle black, that's one of the biggest things that I struggle with
Mhm.
when I ride is I don't like to suck. I don't like it to not be good.
Yeah.
I don't like it to not be perfect. When you have that perfectionist mindset, sometimes it can be really hard to push through that and see kind of the light at the end of the tunnel of I need to suck today so that I can be better tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Well, and it was almost like kind of an outlet for me with Jimmy because I put so much pressure on us for every other class. Again, being perfectionist. Where trail, it was like kind of almost out of my control completely. And it was good because I could just be like, well, that sucked.
Yeah.
Nothing I could have done about it. Whatever. And it was like kind of a good mental break, honestly. But all of those hours of just going over pools incessantly, like just trying to
Yeah.
do it helped me. I mean, that's the light at the end of the tunnel is that I spent 8 million hours going over poles for what felt like no reason at all. But I've said it before, like that is what makes me a better trail rider now. Like I know the trail and understand the ins and outs of it 10 times better now than I would have without that experience.
Yeah, and I think that's good inspiration for other people who want to compete in an event, but they don't feel like they have enough horsepower to go and do it. It's like just do it anyway, even if you and your horse aren't great today, even if you'll never be great together.
It will help with something. Like, struggling through things together will make you better in other places, 100%. Working on certain elements of trail made us better in other areas, made me better in other areas. Whatever, if you wanna go show it, go show it.
Yeah, I love that. I think it's a great attitude to have. And a lot of areas of life, I feel like can benefit from that attitude.
Yeah, in the moment, it was not always didn't always feel like but, I mean, looking back at it now, I'm thankful for it, obviously, but
Do you think riding on the team for Auburn played a role in you winning your titles this year?
totally, totally, especially the Western riding. So this is really funny. My old coach, Taylor Searles, even texted me after the Western riding and was like, "Oh, it's all those lead changes on GT that you did." Because, oh my God, I don't know what it is about some of those horses at school, but I just cannot get them to do lead changes sometimes. Like those horses are lazy and sticky and weird sometimes. And I like that. I had multiple practices where I was just out there dying for like 30 minutes in the Alabama heat, just trying to figure out my lead changes on a horse. And so it was fun. It was funny that she texted me and said that because I was like, honestly, again, like struggling and being embarrassing and doing hard things makes everything easier in the long run. Like doing a lead change on Marshall is a cakewalk compared to me trying to do a lead change on, say, one of our college horses on an off day kind of situation. Like it set me up to be a good showman because I was like, oh my God, this is so much easier than things I've done before. You have to struggle to be able to make other things look easy.
Thank you for listening to Elevate Your Ride. Find us on Instagram and Facebook, all linked in the podcast notes. We'll see you next time. The information provided by Elevate Your Ride is for educational and informational purposes only and is not intended as medical or professional advice. While we discuss health and fitness topics related to equestrians, the content provided through this podcast is not a substitute for professional advice. The views expressed by the host and guests on Elevate Your Ride are their own and should not be taken as professional guidance. We strive to provide accurate and up to date information, but we cannot guarantee that the information will be applicable to every individual listener or that it reflects the most current research or guidelines. Before making any changes to your health and fitness routine, we strongly recommend consulting with a qualified professional who can provide personalized advice based on your individual needs and circumstances. Elevate Your Ride and its creators will not be liable for any direct, indirect, consequential, special, exemplary, or other damages arising from the use of information on this podcast. Thank you for listening to Elevate Your Ride. We are committed to providing high quality content and appreciate your trust in us as a source of information for your health and fitness journey.